Have you ever heard of an empire in the heart of Africa that controlled trade routes stretching for thousands of kilometers, long before European colonists arrived?
An empire whose influence shaped the borders and cultures of modern-day Angola, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and Zambia.
Today, we're journeying back in time to explore the incredible story of the Lunda Kingdom, a powerhouse of Central Africa.
Get ready, because this is a history that deserves to be told. The story of the Lunda begins around the year 1600, deep in the grasslands of what is now the southern DRC.
Before it was a vast empire, the Lunda were a collection of smaller communities. Everything changed with the arrival of a figure from the neighboring Lunda Kingdom, a nobleman named Chipinda Ailanga.
Legend tells us he was a skilled hunter and a charismatic leader who married a local Lunda queen named Luchi.
This union wasn't just a marriage.
It was the birth of a new dynasty and the foundation of the Lunda Empire. Their son became the first emperor, taking the title Mwata Yamvo, a name that would be passed down through generations of rulers, signifying their supreme authority.
This fusion of Luba political ideas with Lunda traditions created a unique and powerful new state, setting the stage for centuries of expansion. So, how did a kingdom born from a single marriage grow to dominate such a massive region? The answer lies in its brilliant and surprisingly flexible political structure.
At the top was the Mwata Yamvo, the divine king who ruled from the capital.
But he didn't rule alone. The Lunda genius was in its decentralized system. As the empire expanded, it didn't just conquer and crush local leaders. Instead, it incorporated them into the Lunda system.
Conga chiefs were often allowed to keep their local authority, as long as they paid tribute to the Mwata Yamvo and remained loyal. This created a network of vassal states and subordinate chiefs, all connected to the central court.
A council of nobles, the Chupinda, advised the Mwata Yamvo and helped manage the day-to-day affairs of the empire.
This system allowed the Lunda to govern a vast and diverse territory effectively, making local leaders partners in the empire's success rather than resentful subjects.
It was a model of indirect rule that proved incredibly stable and effective for centuries. With a solid political structure in place, the Lunda Kingdom began an astonishing period of expansion.
From their heartland, Lunda pioneers, warriors, and administrators pushed outwards in all directions. To the west, they established control over key territories in modern-day Angola, reaching towards the Atlantic coast.
To the south, they moved into the lands that would become northwestern Zambia. To the east, their influence spread deep into the Congo Basin.
This wasn't just a military conquest.
It was a cultural and political expansion. Lunda political titles, social customs, and languages spread with their armies.
New, semi-independent Lunda states, like the Kazembe Kingdom in Zambia, were founded by ambitious leaders who still recognized the ultimate authority of the Mwata Yamvo.
By the 18th century, the Lunda had created a sphere of influence that was one of the largest political entities in PI colonial Africa, a testament to their ambition and organizational skill.
What fueled this massive empire? Trade. The Lunda Kingdom was strategically positioned at the crossroads of several major African trade routes.
It acted as the ultimate middleman, connecting the interior of the continent with the coastal traders, both African and later European.
The Lunda controlled the flow of incredibly valuable goods.
From the east came copper, a vital metal for tools, weapons, and currency.
From the deep forests came ivory, in high demand across the world.
Salt, another precious commodity, was also a key part of their trade network. However, we have to address the darkest aspect of this trade, the trafficking of human beings. The Lunda became major players in the transatlantic slave trade.
They raided neighboring communities or demanded enslaved people as tribute from their vassal states.
These captives were then marched to the coasts and sold to European traders in exchange for firearms, textiles, and other manufactured goods.
The guns they acquired gave them a massive military advantage, allowing them to expand their empire and capture even more people.
It's a tragic and brutal part of their history, creating a cycle of violence that enriched the Lunda elite, but caused immense suffering and destabilized the entire region.
Understanding the Lunda requires us to confront this difficult truth about how their wealth and power were built.
Beyond politics and trade, the Lunda developed a rich and vibrant culture. Their art is particularly striking, known for its intricate masks, detailed carvings, and statues. These weren't just decorative objects. They played a central role in religious ceremonies, initiation rites, and royal court life.
The Chikunza mask, for example, was used in boys' initiation ceremonies, representing a powerful ancestor and the transition from childhood to adulthood.
Lunda society was matrilineal, meaning that lineage and inheritance were traced through the mother's side of the family.
This gave women a significant and respected position within the social structure, a fact reflected in the founding myth of Queen Luji.
Their spiritual life was complex, revolving around a created god, but also involving the veneration of ancestors and nature spirits.
The Muata Yambo himself was seen as a divine link between the spirit world and the living,
his health and well-being directly tied to the prosperity of the kingdom. This cultural fabric was the glue that held the diverse peoples of the empire together.
For over 2 centuries, the Lunda Kingdom seemed invincible, but by the mid-19th century, the world around them was changing, and the foundations of their power began to crumble. Internally, succession disputes became more common and violent, weakening the central authority of the Muata Yamvo.
Ambitious regional governors and subordinate chiefs began to assert their independence, fracturing the empire from within.
But the greatest threat came from outside. The rise of new aggressive trading groups, like the Chokri people, challenged Lunda control over the lucrative trade routes.
Armed with firearms, the Chokri, who were once subjects of the Lunda, became their rivals, disrupting the flow of goods and raiding Lunda territory. The final blow came with the arrival of European colonialism.
In the late 19th century, during the scramble for Africa, European powers carved up the continent among themselves. The vast territory of the Lunda Empire was split between 3 different colonial powers. Portugal took Angola, King Leopold II of Belgium seized the Congo, and Britain claimed northern Rhodesia, which is now Zambia. Faced with the superior firepower and ruthless ambition of the colonial armies, the fragmented Lunda states were defeated and absorbed into these new European colonies. By the dawn of the 20th century, the Great Lunda Empire, a dominant force for nearly 300 years, had officially come to an end.
Although the empire itself is gone, the legacy of the Lunda Kingdom is far from forgotten.
It lives on in the people, the languages, and the cultures of Angola, the DRC, and Zambia. The Lunda language is still spoken by millions, and many people in the region can trace their ancestry back to the Great Empire. The political and social structures created by the Lunda influenced the development of many other societies in Central Africa.
Even the title, Muata Yamvo, continues to exist as a traditional royal title in the DRC, a living link to a glorious and complex past.
The story of the Lunda is a powerful reminder of the sophisticated and powerful empires that flourished in Africa long before the colonial era.
It's a history of innovation, expansion, and cultural richness, but also a cautionary tale of the devastating impact of the slave trade and foreign invasion.
By studying the rise and fall of the Lunda, we gain a much deeper and more complete understanding of African and world history.
Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the heart of the Lunda Kingdom. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into forgotten histories.
And let me know in the comments which African kingdom or empire you'd like to see me cover next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.